Simple geography, basic economics won't stop the fans. One Glasgow butcher is even selling his shop just to go to Argentina.
Be well worth it.
And these World Cup jerseys here, there's a limited amount of them. I don't know why you're laughing, because we are going to win the World Cup.
That's the cable.
As far as I'm concerned, newly married, me and my wife, Scotland has got to win this World Cup.
Without a doubt, they're the best squad that's left the British Isles yet. Every eventuality has been taken care of. I think a medal of some sort will come, and I pray and hope that it's the gold one.
Oh, yes! That does it!
Space is in the wardrobe for it to be put there.
The first bus journey we did, which is this bit here on the map, took us 18 hours. And at that point, I kind of started to think, this is a big place.
This was a really remote part of the Highlands of Scotland. Before 1978, we had no TV. And it took a lot of work to take a cable from the hill behind us all the way here. You talk about 4 miles of cable, and you dug, and you dug, and you dug. We were thinking to see Scotland win the World Cup.
Wouldn't it be marvellous if Scotland became the 1978 World Cup victors? I hope they do.
Excuse me, sir, would you buy one of these?
No.
The 70s were a difficult time in Scotland. A time of trial for all sorts of people. Politics was very confused because there was no real Scottish dimension in politics in terms of a parliament and an assembly. The old industries were dying, so it was a rough old time.
Oh, the rough rafts, so the day comes up here. Oh, it's the last place on earth this is.
The Queen's approach provided ample evidence of the decay and dereliction Scotland's planners and developers are striving to remove.
Here was Scotland. It was still, by and large, seen by many people as being a region of England. You know, it didn't have its own parliament. It didn't have that sense of nationhood. Yes, there was some talks of oil in the North Sea, and there were political parties arguing that Scotland's oil, therefore it should benefit Scotland.
That's what independence is about. There's any number of ways you can do it.
And yet, somehow, there wasn't the real feeling that we were the complete kind of nation. And then along comes this mercurial, magical figure, Ally MacLeod.
I think it's like a bit like Muhammad Ali, you know, you get an image and you live up to it.
He'd introduce himself and say, I'm Ally MacLeod and I'm a winner. And somebody comes out and says that to you, it makes you think that we've got someone here that's going to take us in the right direction.
I mean, how do you feel yourself on the field? I mean, you must be happier in your own mind. I mean, that's the first thing. If you don't enjoy football, you can chuck it.
When you look back on his previous careers with Aberdeen and Ayr, he was successful with those clubs.
His first major prize in Scottish football.
He was a character with training. He said, right, we'll go to the beach. We came down here and it was worse than this that you're seeing just now. There's about a foot of water and we played 5 aside in the water. Bloody freezing.
Those who know me know I've worked for 13 years as a manager, and things haven't been easy for me. I've had to work to where I've got here, and I don't intend now to stop working until there's a medal at least.
That yours, your room. And then my room was away the wind.
Aye, around the other side.
Undoubtedly, his greatest fans are his 3 children. For the moment at least, he can do no wrong.
He was optimistic. He never looked on the negative side of anything. He was just that type of person. You can do anything and be anything if you put your mind to it. At the same time, he was quite shy. Sometimes it was a little bravado.
I'm quite confident in my own mind that my manner of management is the right one, you know.
Here we go. Still Pride of Place. There's a lot of happy memories, so try and remember the happy ones. I met him in 1953, and it was at the local dance. He was a humorous person, and he was kind. And I hadn't long lost my dad, and I had 2 young sisters, and he was absolutely fantastic with them. I don't know, he seemed to bring out the best in people, really. That's all I can say. He did. Most people took to him.
Do you actually think you can get Scotland to the World Cup?
Yeah, I think I have a great chance. I wouldn't have taken the job if I hadn't, you know.
What happens is that you get guys who go truly not to watch a football match, but to see themselves. What they're really saying is, let me see me.
But if that outlet wasn't there for the supporters, what else is there for them to do in Scotland anyway?
Well, what there might be, Dennis, is Scotland might become more politically aware if it were less football conscious.
We're a stateless nation. The Scotland national team was one of the few focuses that we had for our national identity. It was so important to have that expression, and the fact the team was good. And therefore there was a wee bit of a swagger developing.
Willie Johnston. In it goes to Dalglish. Lou McCarry supporting. There's an overlap. Martin Buchan. Good running by Buchan, read it well. There's Kenny Dalglish in there. Over the goal! Oh, yes! That does it! No wonder he turns to the supporters. Scotland have qualified for the World Cup finals.
All the colour and excitement and national feeling that was associated with football in those days was kind of focused on an adventure that was happening on the other side of the world in some exotic place which no one could really imagine.
Partido de apertura se jugará en Buenos Aires 6.
Okay.
Y ahora comienza
There's your shot.
el sorteo.
I'll give you another go at this when the little boy comes out. And as you join us in the capital city of Argentina, I'll start again for you. That's the speech. And as you join us in the capital city of Argentina, a 3-year-old boy, Ricardo Havelange, the grandson of the president of the Federation of International Football Associations, Dr. Havelange, moves forward to his grandfather and to make the draw.
El próximo va en el número 4, grupo número 4.
When the draw was made, there was 2 or 3 of us in STV Studios sitting, waiting in the draw coming through.
Yes, Scotland.
The team started coming out, and Holland were the prize team.
So Scotland beat Holland in the last match in that group.
Peru?
Yes, Peru.
That's not too bad.
Scotland, by the way, have only played Peru once. They beat them then.
Then Iran comes out.
And Iran confirmed as going into Group 4 with Holland, Peru and Scotland.
Out of the blue, we beamed to Sean Connery, who was in his house in Spain, and he chipped in with everything that we thought, Peru, Iran, would beat them quite easily.
So that's the news from Argentina, and I think there will be some smiles in Scotland tonight.
Thought qualification was guaranteed. Iran? Don't make me laugh.
First time for Iran in the finals.
The same with Peru. Just thought, what? Peru? That boy that played in the 1970 World Cup? Cubulus.
Oh, look at his control! What a goal!
What's his name, right? How do you pronounce it?
Thomas Cook we went to just book up. I had 2 or 3 mates that I travelled with, and we just agreed that we were going. There was no questions, we were going.
Well, I folded it simply because I'm in business and I can take some money out of the business. The business will maybe fling that, but as long as the Scots do okay,
I was in the rag trade at the time, so I was doing reasonably well.
One Glasgow butcher is even selling his shop just to go to Argentina.
How much is it costing you, roughly?
Well, roughly £2,000.
There was a tangible feeling of excitement about the expedition to Argentina, and it was an adventure for people to a place most of them had never seen or imagined before.
The mind was made up. I was going to go because I was Scottish, It was London to Madrid, then Madrid to Buenos Aires. Went to one of his kilts, scarves, bonnets and all that,
1978, I was 18, living in the north of Scotland. My dad, he was security on the dock gates. I was at work when my dad phoned me. There's a boat, grain boat, loading, going out to Argentina. We can get across on that grain boat. Work our passage and hitching a lift with it, about 4 hours, and we were on our way.
No money. Colin left his job. I sold my motorbike.
Planning was done in a pub in Edinburgh.
That's the map we took with us.
The Daily Telegraph map of South America, that was it. That was our travel guide.
Flew into Port of Spain, Trinidad.
Which we thought was in South America.
Of course, it's in the Caribbean.
We had no idea that it was 5,000 miles we had to go from up here. Buses and trains through Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, over the Andes to Bolivia, down into Argentina, and then eventually down to Cordoba.
That was where Scotland were playing
for the first game.
Peru.
And I always remember that the first bus journey we did, which is this bit here on the map, took us 18 hours. And at that point, you kind of start to think, this is a big place.
It's Radio Clyde on 261, and the time now is just gone 8 o'clock. Now, I know they're listening to Radio Clyde at this moment, and so on behalf of the whole of Scotland, let me dedicate this record to Ali McLeod, to the captain, Bruce Rioch, and to all the players as well. The very best of luck out there.
And these World Cup jerseys here, there's a limited amount of them. I don't know why you're laughing, because we are going to win the World Cup.
I think a medal of some sort will come, and I pray and hope that it's the gold one.
The fans call it World Cup fever, but currently it's big business that's really dominating Scotland's attempt to become the world champions, simply pouring tens of thousands of pounds into Scotland's booming football business.
I recall doing a tour of the country with Ali. There's no question that people responded to him. This was this relationship between the public who wanted this demigod to succeed and a man who lapped it up.
We're the greatest team in the world.
The television and the papers all built him up. You know, they believed what Ali was saying. Everybody believed what Ali was saying.
Ali McLeod had us believing we could win. He was asked, can Scotland win the World Cup? And he would turn around and say yes.
I've been saying, you know, if we win it, and all the fans say, forget the if, Ali, it's when we win it. You know, the fans have now got all that.
Everybody wanted to be your friend. Everybody wanted to know Ali. Everybody wanted to come to your house.
Every facet of culture was being swamped. Football got into people's lives in a way it hadn't done before.
We're decked out in our kilts.
Thanks to Ali, all of the UK was interested in Scotland.
And this is on behalf of Blue Peter viewers. Wouldn't it be marvellous if Scotland became the 1978 World Cup victors? I hope they do.
When you're a young lad in Scotland and you want to be a footballer, the dream is to get in the national team.
You've had that since you were a wee boy playing in the streets, kicking the ball about, hoping one day you would get a chance to play at Hampden or Wembley or the Maracana.
I came from a family of 6 brothers. My mother was widowed when I was 10 years of age, so it was hard. We had a hard time of it. Just to be a footballer, you would do anything.
Johnstone!
When Argentina came along in '78 and I was picked in the squad, you know, for somebody in the family to go and do something was fantastic.
When the national squad was picked, you hoped and prayed that you'd be in it, because there was that many exceptional Scottish players.
And when you get picked, the feeling's unbelievable.
Johnson going. Just getting that in.
So you had Johnson playing wide, very good player. You had Kenny Dalglish, fantastic player, who was off the back of his first year at Liverpool.
Well, I'm trouble enough trying to speak English. It's trying to learn a foreign language is a bit difficult for me.
Liverpool had just won the European Cup that year. Dalglish had scored the winner in the final. You had players playing at the very highest level in the English First Division.
Gougordan. Who do you fear? Gougordan. This image of Gougordan, you're bulleting goals into the back of the net.
I tell you one thing, to start in the English League, the Scottish squad now, to start next season, to play in English First Division. They'll be finished at Christmas.
It'd be disappointing for the lads if they didn't make it, because without a doubt, they're the best squad that's left the British Isles yet.
There's about 4 players all for that last place. And I went to the toilet, and Ali came into the toilet. He says, right, son, he says, I went and phone your dad. He says, don't phone anybody else, just your dad, and tell him you're going to Argentina. And I went, what? He says, shh.
Now we have a team which has the ability to do the job when it has to be done.
Go on.
No care what they say about West Germany, Brazil, or Italy, or one of the teams. As far as I'm concerned, newly married, me and my wife, Scotland has got to win this World Cup.
Train as hard as I can and let the Greek team win the World Cup. In 1698, 5 Scottish ships set off to conquer South America. They hoped to establish a colony at Darien and then an empire for Scotland. They were led by a charismatic...
The arrangements for the departure, I've looked at the timing of things, and I think Ali would need to arrange transport to Hampden at 5:45.
Departure when they went round Hampden on the open-top bus. What a joyous thing to happen. The absolute audacity of saying, oh, we'll have the going-away party. We're so confident about going into this. We'll actually fill Hampden Park and go round in an open-top bus, the signifier of success in winning cups. We'll do that on the way out there, never mind on the way back.
I actually introduced the team onto the pitch. You know, here's Asa Hartford, here's Archie Gemmill, right? The whole country was carried away with the enthusiasm, you know, and the thought that we might do something in the World Cup.
You had to walk out yourself. You didn't walk out with anybody else. You had to walk from that dugout out to the centre of the park, and all these people are shouting for you, and you're like, oh, this is great, you know, but you didn't know what to do. You see Ali McLeod walking out, he's got his hands in his pockets and his head's down because he was really embarrassed about it all.
See, going down the 77, heading to Prestwick in that bus, the amount of people that were on the overheads and the motorways with the Scotland flags and everything all the way down. It was wonderful.
Everybody up in the viaducts, everybody out in the local towns and the players were absolutely astounded. You know, I couldn't believe it. Got to Prestwick Airport, it was bedlam. It was something, I've never seen scenes like it before.
I'll never forget when he was leaving, he turned to me and he said, I'll either come back a hero or a villain.
Travelled down through Colombia, Ecuador, Peru.
Buses, trains.
Just let me keep going.
And this was travelling third class with goats and chickens.
We were on a train, an 18-hour journey, and this lady came on the train with literally a tray, and I kind of waved some money to her. She took my money, put my hands out like that, and slapped a fried egg in each hand. And then just walked away and left me, and I'm sitting there trying to juggle these eggs and eat them, and they were quite runny.
We basically worked our passage with a paintbrush in our hands for the whole trip, painting the boat top to bottom, day in and day out.
"30,000 people said farewell to the Scottish team when they left Hampden Park for Argentina, and 30,000 welcomed them when they arrived in the city of Altagracia, 20 miles from Cordoba. It was a highly emotional affair. Nobody could quite explain why a city of 48,000 people should adopt in such a fashion a football team from 7,000 miles away.
We just expected to drive up the hill and get to our bed. I think all the lads were really tired. When we see the reception we're getting here, it's lifted us all again, and it doesn't feel as if there's 29 hours ago that we set out.
Certainly no other national team has had the same class of treatment.
The friendliness of the Argentinians was quite amazing. When we put on the kilts, we became instant heroes. Many people would invite us back to their house for dinner and to meet their families. We were invited to barbecues.
They couldn't do enough for you. I mean, we got invited to a party the first night and the women were quite stunning. I mean, they thought you were quite unique, you know, going about in your kilt and your Highland dress, basically, and they were very amenable, shall we say.
We did gather in a place called Sorocoban. It was a cafe bar, you know, drink and sing songs. And I noticed Roxana. We made eye contact, and she actually beckoned me across. Dark hair, dark eyes, right out of the bat, I fancied her. We attempted to communicate. We didn't have any Spanish at all, and somehow we managed it. A couple of giggles and jokes being told. And yeah, we enjoyed a nice evening.
The coach took nearly half an hour to travel the last few hundred yards with soldiers having to keep back the well-wishers.
We were already there, the press, and Scotland arrived. We spoke to them on their bus to go to the hotel, and it broke down.
It was an old rickety bus, broke down 3 times. At one stage, there were a few of the players had to go out and try and push the thing to get it started, to get up the hill.
And that was really the beginning of a lot of things going wrong.
They decided on this hotel in Altagracia, and this as their training ground.
I can't describe what it was, but it wasn't a hotel. It was a place where they constructed rooms, and it was still being worked on because there was people putting carpet down, and I think they put the rooms round an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
As soon as we went in, go for a swim, and we opened the doors, there was no water in the swimming pool. It wasn't finished.
The beds were no mattresses, so they were rock hard. Training pitch was a shocker. We had some ankle injuries in our first couple of training sessions, which meant we had to get the bus to Cordoba. That took us about an hour to get there.
The Scots players finally began to train in earnest for their first World Cup match against Peru on Saturday.
One image remains in my mind. At a training session in the Cordoba Stadium, outside it, 20 men lined against the wall, noses against the wall, hands above their heads, with 2 men with submachine guns.
There is still a real fear that the Monteneros will carry out their earlier threat to disrupt the World Cup. This to draw world attention to the violent campaign since the coup 2 years ago, in which over 2,000 guerrillas have been killed and another 7,000 Argentinian people have simply disappeared.
We put it out of our minds. We were there to watch football, enjoy this festival of football.
Immediately following the 1978 World Cup opening ceremony, BBC One will begin live coverage of Scotland's matches.
There's about 15 of us. It was hard work. Just get the TV in for the Scotland game. It brought the country together because he had us believing we were going to win the World Cup.
To everyone back home at the television, keep your fingers crossed.
The Peruvians look relaxed and happy, here getting onto the World Cup roundabout in a big way.
You haven't bothered in your preparation to go to see Iran, Peru and Holland?
Well, basically, what I've decided to do is to try and win the World Cup by preparing my own team to perfection.
I felt at the start of that game, the magnitude of the situation came right home to me. And I'm here, I've came through the streets playing football, now I'm at a World Cup, and I was just hoping I wouldn't let anybody down. My granddad in particular, my family, or my mates who were in the pubs.
Scotland 1 up, 14 and a half minutes gone. Well done, Scotland, the perfect start.
Ali just said, look, it's all about us, it's all about us. We've got the players that are better than them. I don't think we knew they were as good as what they were.
I didn't know anything about Peru. I didn't even know any of their players. We didn't think we would lose to them.
Brilliant goal by Teofilo Gaviria.
I remember Ruffy saying, who takes the free kicks in and around the box? Is there anybody good? And Ali says, no, I've never noticed anybody.
Here he comes, Gaviria drives it in and it's a goal! Gaviria's a brilliant third goal for Peru. Peru 3, Scotland 1. And Scotland's World Cup hopes hanging by a thread now.
It was Archie Gemmill that come in and says you have to go for a drugs test. Did the drugs test, didn't think any more about it, went back to the hotel. I played for 22 seasons as a footballer and I enjoyed every minute bar 10 days in Argentina.
Well, you've heard these reports.
Are you here to interview the players or are you here to do... There's a time and place to interview the players during the day, not when we're here as the British Embassy.
I didn't know what he was talking about. The next thing, Ali's there getting him out of the room.
But I would just rather now you leave the company. Now I'm getting that straight. You are stooping to low tactics.
All he's saying to me is, you failed the drugs test, what you got to say about that?
We were absolutely stunned. Once that happened, there was other discussions amongst the players, and it came about that there was another 1 or 2 players had taken the same tablet.
Ali came up and said, look, he's been taking a tablet that's banned. It was called Reactivan. That was the name of the tablet.
We have to take it serious because it is on the list.
It was horrendous. Yeah, there was every chance Scotland could be thrown out of the World Cup.
When the hard-nosed reporters got wind of the story that all bets were off, and they were in there, boots flying.
This big story leaked out and they were going to run and run and run with it.
DRUGS, drugs. Next morning, 100 people standing outside my room. I didn't know what was going on.
Some Scottish athlete was taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, we can't have our boys out there taking drugs. I taken 2 tablets called Reactivan. You could buy them in a chemist shop.
People were trying to make out made him quicker.
You ask me now, what does it do? I have no idea.
It gave him power in his legs.
It's like drinking 4 cups of black coffee.
I had hay fever and it was supposed to make me feel a wee bit better, but it didn't.
The Scottish Football Association, gentlemen, has never before been involved in such a matter, and the officials concerned here in Argentina are determined that the good name of our country must be protected. Whatever Scotland's results on the football field might be, they will be achieved fairly.
To get out of the camp, it says, get in the back, lie down, we'll put the blanket over your head. And the guards come in with the guns. And up, Johnstone, up. But when I was on that bus on my own with 2 soldiers and 2 guns, I think, oh, this is it. take me to the end of the runway and shoot me.
Willie Johnston flew back to Britain today, crossing the globe in a half-empty DC-10 all alone. He'd been travelling for 3 days after being smuggled out of the back entrance of Scotland's training camp. He slept little, half-watched the movie and pecked at his food.
I was sitting at the back of the plane and I could see all the headlines in the papers, people reading their papers, and it had Johnson. It was in Portuguese or Spanish, but this boy sitting next to me went, "That's you, eh?" And I'm going, "Yeah."
For the first time, he read his own story in the British newspapers, and he didn't like what he saw.
Paris, there's not many people coming on with cameras and journalists or film crew, and I couldn't get peace.
When we joined his flight in Paris, he looked tired and very unhappy.
Sick! Could you just leave me alone, please?
Have you ever known him take drugs at all, to act as a stimulant?
No, none at all.
They made my wife's life misery, my kids' life misery. Well, they had a right go. They go to London, that was... Where's my wife, where's my wife?
Shock. Terrible shock.
I just gave her a big hug.
You know, he doesn't like a lot of publicity. He likes to stay in the background a lot.
Her whole life changed. It did.
Argentina brought about a kind of shift in people's understanding of how the popular press worked. The so-called rats, these were the news hounds from the new red-top tabloids in England, were sending journalists out to look for hard news, exposés.
We were under a focus that we'd never been under before.
So many rumours going around, so many stories about individuals.
Stupid stories, like the chasing bare-naked women around the hotel.
Having got here, you don't think these lads are stupid enough, or the manager's stupid enough to let them mess about.
When things go wrong, you're there to be critical. And things definitely went wrong that took a dark narrative into nightmare territory.
No other squad in the history of football has ever had to be subjected to what this squad's been subjected.
Look for a good story, you know. Mystery last night surrounded the whereabouts of, but there weren't many moral dilemmas about it.
We haven't been told what incentives and bonuses we were on for the games. There were some very unhappy players.
What do you want?
How much money would you hope to take out of the World Cup?
Buttons.
Wednesday night, Scotland meet Iran.
You weren't allowed outside the hotel. There was a huge fence all the way around it, and we had armed guards as well. It was boring, and that's the only word for it. We did find ourselves sitting outside, and there was a little ant colony. They were taking all the little leaves across them. We just used to sit and throw little stones at them. Little stones, and we were throwing it at the ants were carrying the leaves, see if we can knock the leaf off.
I can remember being outside the park, sitting drinking and looking forward to the game. It was a beautiful sunny day with the kilt and the football tops on.
And winning today, of course, is what it's all about for Scotland after the dramas and problems of the last few days. John Robertson playing in his first World Cup game. He, of course, in for Willie Johnston.
I appeared pretty quickly out of the blue, and looking back, it was a big gamble from him. I suppose I was really
pretty bloody nervous, really.
I wonder what indeed is going through his mind at this moment.
Did you have no way of contacting Ali or speaking with Ali?
No, not really. No, depended on him giving me a phone call, really. And I didn't want to pester him, you know, just had to watch it on the television.
Of all the games that I covered in the World Cup, that's the one that gives me more dismal memories.
A ball totally given away.
I was rubbish, you know, that's the bottom line of it. And as we all were.
McCarty got a touch, and another one. Burns fighting for it, helps it on. Dalglish is there, the goalkeeper over the bar. Hijazi.
Oh, watching it, I couldn't stand it. I got up and I took the dog away for a walk.
Iran coming out, and Robertson beat the offside trap. No, he didn't.
Scotland scored one of the oddest goals you'll ever see.
Would you believe it? An enormous man. That's got to go down as an own goal, surely.
But then you think, well, maybe luck's changed.
I injured an ankle in training, so I watched the game. What's the worst horror movie you've ever seen? Scotland versus Iran.
And he's well in behind Scotland. The big man, Faraki. Far in, far post. Comes down. It's Johnny Farr. Lots of pressure from Iran. And it's through. Johnny Farr. 1-0. And there is the final whistle. And that is very much a tragedy for Scotland.
The battalion scheme was doomed. A lack of planning, a difficult environment, and hostile natives sealed the Scots' sorry fate. The country would never be the same.
But a total tragedy for Scotland. Absolute total disaster.
In the press box, we were surrounded by the travelling Scots. The mood was very dark.
Face of Ali McLeod tells it all. The goals. Ali McLeod gets out there.
I just wanted to fly out and give him a hug. Just seeing him looking like that, so down, I thought, that's not my Ali, you know. Looking so alone. Was worried he had no one he could talk to.
When he put his head in his hands in despair, it was almost like a silent scream.
It's a big disappointment, to be quite frank. I mean, it was a downer. It really was a downer.
And as the players leave the field, booed off by their supporters, Scotland are effectively out of the World Cup. And a lion rampant and a tartan scarf were thrown at them.
They let us down badly. I was totally angry. You know, I'm the guy with the curly hair and the beard.
Without question, I think Mr. McLeod must go. If I can get a flight tonight, I'm off. McLeod ought to be ashamed of himself. It was an absolute shambles and disgrace to Scottish football.
We went there with great expectations and we became a bit of a laughing stock after the Iran game.
The players looked shocked at the fans' anger.
There was a viaduct above the bus and there must have been about 100, 200 supporters there and they were just throwing things at the bus.
Well, when things are not going right for you, everything piles on top of one another. You just got to keep our heads up and hope for the best.
That bus was certainly the quietest bus that I've ever been on.
Do you all feel a bit sick considering the send-off, the great send-off the Scottish team?
What's happened now? You know what I mean? They just made a proper fool of themselves.
What's gone wrong?
Everything.
McLeod right away.
His whole demeanour changed. I remember the next day, I must have woke up about 6 o'clock in the morning. I went round the corner and there he was, sitting on a bench with his hands in his head, in tears.
For us as children, it's very hard to see your father being slaughtered.
Yeah,
right.
It was awful. It was awful. I lump my throat just thinking about it.
It was a hard time. I mean,
you'd feel it's unravelling in front of you after the Iran game. He was so far away. I think he felt very isolated during it all, and you felt so helpless. He kept off school because there was just so much going on, and hostages in our own house at one point.
reporters in the bushes, and they were coming up. You know, you see them doorstepping. It was a difficult time.
I was in Tartan Arms in Bannockburn the night we played Iran. I got into the stage, and this guy stood up, a big guy, right? And I'm just about to speak, and he went, "Oh, wait, man, carry on," he says. "See if you sing that song, you're right out that window."
What do you think it'll be like against Holland on Sunday? I think we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them. You still think we'll beat them? Aye.
We needed to win the game, for sure. We needed 3 clear goals.
We played a fabulous team. I mean, it was full of absolutely wonderful players then. So it was hope as much as anything else. And that was our state of mind when we travelled up there.
I think it hurt the Scottish psyche. That year or so of us believing that we were something special, we were back to being underdogs again. And no one gave them any hope whatsoever.
Big task ahead of them. Those 3 goals to stay in the competition.
I wanted back home. I'd had enough of the conflicts, the controversies, the arguments, the disputes, and I was fed up.
It did feel like a national disaster. It could only get better, but still expected us to do something.
I didn't.
That sounds...
No, I
and then
thought we couldn't. I had this picture of him there, and I was hugging it, trying to will him to Willie, you know, kind of thing. But
Kennedy. Oh, and he's going the ball away. Disaster totally created by the Scottish players themselves. This for 1-0 to Holland.
There was such a feeling of deflation. All of the kind of patriotism, the pomp and the big beach ball of kind of expectation had been punctured. And here was this feeling really that, you know, this was kind of the bitter end.
The whole world was against us. Right, let's prove everybody wrong.
Scotland still tackling hard and tackling quickly.
I think it was a matter of pride in the final game. We've got a slim chance of getting through. We might do it.
I just thought, yeah, we can do this.
There was a huge roar from the Argentinians as well. I mean,
the Argentinians were very much supporting Scotland. We had a great time with them all, and they were loving that as much as the football.
He really must put it away.
And I remember Jock Stevens saying, I listened to your commentary, and you started off as if you were at a funeral. And then eventually, it was a full-scale wedding.
Now that's better. Good ball by Ruff. He's a Hartford. Good play by Gemmell.
Yeah, we were right behind the goal. Archie went like that. You've done it!
I certainly got a clear memory of that goal.
every single step.
Great play by Gemmell, can he do it?
Dodging, dancing, in and out. Oh, come on.
He's done it! Oh, great goal! I was conscious, as if in a chorus line,
30 commentators rising up.
Good play by Gemmell. Good play by
It was madness, and there was this extraordinary moment of euphoria. Is it possible, after all this?
There.
You know, we were playing football out there in Argentina. We were playing in the culture and continent of Latin America. And one of the things that Latin America has gifted the world is the idea of magical realism, that there is something magical, almost dreamlike about the world that we live in. To have that little bit of magic in your life that's not explained by the rational.
Someone said, "Why did you take the Scotland job?" And I said, "To prove I'm the best in the world. Best in the world. Best in the world. Best in the world."
There is the final whistle. Scotland have come back from the dead, and we're there.
I think a medal of some sort will come, and I pray and hope that it's the gold one.
In the River Plate Stadium, Buenos Aires, 80,000 watching here and millions more across the world. We've got now 11.5 minutes to go to the end of this World Cup final of 1978. Argentina won, Scotland won. Scotland playing with a lot more fire though now. And Rioch holds the ball above his head and he throws it back and it'll be picked up by Kennedy. And Kennedy will send a long ball high across the area to Gemmell. Gemmell laying it to Jordan. And it's a goal! A great header coming in from the far side. The World Cup is coming to Scotland now.
Well, it's one thing, Peter, that we're not going to get much sleep tonight.
Ref. And there is the final whistle.
The dream was over then.
Scotland are out of the World Cup.
It was emotional. It was very dispirited. We were clearly, we just knew that was the end of the trip.
Roxana was heading back to Cordoba with her sister. So she left and we left, and more or less on the same day. Our return to Scotland was simply a case of, well, we enjoyed it and, you know, it's a shame, but that's it.
When the bus is leaving and he just looks so unhappy, you know, he really does. And that's it. I thought, what can you do? You know, what can you do?
Today, only 100 fans stood on the concourse at Glasgow Airport for the team's homecoming. The Scottish players and their manager made a discreet exit from the back of the plane.
You could see when he came back, he was a changed man. He'd lost his sparkle.
For a while.
For a while, he'd lost his sparkle.
There was little of the anger and bitterness expressed by some of the fans in Argentina. Just a few tartan teenagers waving their banners and the now discredited badges of Ali's Tartan Army.
When I came back from Argentina, everyone, well, all the newspapers and that were over there led me to believe I was going to be executed when I come back, you know. I knew I wasn't going to be knighted, but, you know,
My dad's my hero. My dad, my hero. That's why I always say, even to this day, that's what I say.
And as for fortune, and as for fame, I never invited them in. Though it seemed to the world they were all I deserved.
Hi. All right.
They are illusions, they're not the solutions they promise to be. The answer is here all the time.
So the past.
I love you and hope you love me.
Self-government for Scotland means self-respect for Scotland.
Rox, do you want to come through? I think they want to see if you're real.
Yes, here I am. After 31 years, we're still together, very happy.
We've got a couple of sons, half Scottish, half Argentinian.
And it's all really downtown in the clouds.
Well, you could say that.
You did really well.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. Through my wildest, my mad existence, I kept my promise.
Thank you very much.
Distance.
Quite a love story indeed. And you can keep up to speed with the World Cup Sports Day action on the BBC News Channel tomorrow and every day at 6:30.